All right, guys, I guess we have a little bit of a delay. We're just waiting for Ray. So just bear with us for a little bit. Hi, Ray. Welcome.
Hello. Good evening to you guys. I think it's evening.
Yeah, that's pretty much evening here. How are you?
Doing very well. Thanks for hosting me.
No, thank you. All right, guys, so let's just get started. We have Ray here today from CoralApp with us, which is basically a new generation fitness and wellness app. I'll let Ray give a brief introduction before we dive into the question because I know Ray has limited time today. Ray, the floor is yours.
Thanks. I'm the founder of CoralApp, and we're working to deliver a product that I like to call the Wellness and Fitness Center for the blockchain space. I know there are a lot of projects out there, but I think throughout the conversation we're going to have today, you'll probably get to know part of the differences that we bring to the move to earn market. So I'll
Right.
just let you go ahead and get started.
All right. The first question we have is that as you have been seeing for the past few months, the market is adjusting very sharply, and the risks are actually quite high. But there's also great opportunity for development projects. So, what are some of the characteristics of, and like, what's your development strategy to be able to compete in this kind of a difficult market and basically, you know, uh, basically come up on top?
I think that's a good question, and I think it's a good one because of the type of space we're in. The blockchain space historically is volatile. I've been around since 2013, and I guess we have more volume
Oh,
now
wow.
on the charts, and even with I think we're at about $2 trillion now. You kind of see the movements, but it's not actually as wild, like in terms of the swings you're seeing. But I
Right,
think from my project perspective, what I like to tell people is if you look at the Coral app as a company and your tokens that you earn and NFTs as shares or bonds that you're holding, then
right,
you kind of see it differently. Um, of course, you will have your traders on the market. I know you guys love to trade in this community,
right,
but I think for me, we have a very, very long and robust roadmap to show that we're here to stay, and it's more
okay,
of a long-term race than a sprint. So,
right.
depending on how you choose to see the project, it could be concerning from a market perspective. But for me, I actually
Right.
think because of the way the market is, it's a good time for us to build and for our long-term holders at the end of the day to be able to benefit once we come out of that.
That's actually pretty well said because our channel is actually made up of quite a lot of mid to long-term holders. So I think that helps quite a bit. Also, you mentioned that you've been involved in blockchain technology and everything since 2013. Please tell me about Bitcoin in 2013.
Well, Bitcoin back then, I bought Bitcoin at $200. I lost most of it,
Wow.
but it was $200 per share. And back then, there was no Coinbase. There was
Right,
no, it was just this place called localbitcoin.com.
right,
And
right.
you meet people that would sell to you peer to peer. So you physically had to show up somewhere to buy your
That's true.
Bitcoin.
Yeah,
So I picked a
yeah,
bank so that I figured, well,
yeah.
if you want to rob me, you better rob me at a bank, right? So
Yeah,
we
that was like
we actually went to
Craigslist
the bank and met
for,
up.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Back then it was basically like Craigslist for Bitcoin, actually. So yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. The next question is smart contracts are basically prone to failure, and many projects actually fall victim to it. They basically end up costing user funds and discrediting projects. Now, how reliable and secure are your smart contracts? And did you test it with either party?
That's a great question. I personally have been a victim, especially from the DeFi side, that I try not to even think about. Definitely lost a lot of money there, and I think that's the
Oh,
biggest challenge that we have in blockchain. Of course, it's new, so But for us, we're building with that in mind, and we are going to get an audit from a third
Okay.
party. So we're
Okay.
actually already speaking to third party auditors.
Okay.
We are in the MVP stage, so once everything is said and done in the next few weeks here, it would go through a third party audit, and hopefully they don't find anything. But if they do, we'll be more than happy to fix it, or get experts in to make sure that whatever we put out there
Right.
in the smart contract is solid enough that people are not losing their earned money. I mean, I think
Right.
at the end of the day, it touches everybody. I mean, I saw what happened to Axie Infinity. Unfortunately, I think that was
Oh, yeah,
last week,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
I mean, it really hurts everyone. So
Yeah.
absolutely big on our minds.
And then we'll be seeing the updates on like Twitter and everything, right? Like you'll be actually keeping us like up to date on like the audit and everything.
Yes. Once we get to beta, any
Yeah.
product that you would get to see will be audited, and the audit,
Perfect.
everything will be available with full transparency once all of that is
Excellent.
done. Yes, it would be out there.
Excellent. Now the next question is a little bit diving deep into the app. It's as we all know, every single person in the world is facing a lot of mental issues and challenges. So how does your app help them to keep fit mentally?
So with the app, there are a few things there. You can, so if you have your regular tracker, your Samsung Health, or your if you're an Apple person, like your Apple Health product, you can kind of get to see a few things there, right? About how many steps you've taken a day, how much pace you did, and your sleep pattern and things like that. What we're doing in essence is pushing all of that into
Right.
um, I guess what you would call, so we're funneling all of that information into the app. And if you don't have any of the supported apps, we do offer a manual version that you can actually use yourself within the app to collect all that data and help you
Okay.
understand what's going on. So you'll get a monthly, weekly insight on how you're doing with your diet. You can actually, put your information about your mood there, about your stress level. Those can be measured with your sensor and your camera. So all those things will
Okay.
be there, and you get incentivized for actually participating within your own health, right? And you actually
Okay.
being cognizant of your health. Now, with the wellness and the mental part of it, we have a
Mm.
marketplace that we're developing. And the
Okay.
marketplace is designed to allow content creators in the health and wellness and fitness market to provide their content in our
Mm-hmm.
marketplace. So if you're thinking about shopping for shoes, you go to Nike or you go to Reebok. If you're thinking
Right.
about ordering food to eat, you're looking at maybe Uber Eats, right? Or you would
Right.
go to Grubhub or any of these other places. So our
Right.
goal is, if you think about wellness and fitness and you want to buy peer to peer, then you would think about CoralApp. And
Right.
that way, if you're sorting through the marketplace, you're able to click on wellness, you're able to click on mental health, and find content that you can actually engage with, purchase, or if you want to play a game, that would help you with calming down, or listen to someone's music who they put up there to kind of help with the sound of the ocean, or whatever it takes for you to
Oh,
relax, you can access that on the app.
right. So like it's basically like an ecosystem within an ecosystem.
Exactly, exactly. So there's
Okay.
the free part, right, where you can just, engage with understanding what's happening with your health. But if you want
Right.
to engage with other providers that are, independent content creators who are established, you can, from anywhere you are in the world, you can access any content. I
Right.
love certain things out of India, for example. I watch a lot
Right.
of, um, I consume a lot of Bollywood, by the way. um, so I do a lot of that. And so imagine if I have a wellness person, there's a yogi that I like there that I would love to have on this app. If he's able to
Okay.
come on board, I will be more than glad to pay to get him or maybe pay for my monthly subscription to have access to every single thing he does, and he can be my instructor
Ah,
all the way to
I
the end.
see.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of how this.
Okay, so yeah, you basically kind of answered the next question, or actually the next two questions, because that was actually what's the unique selling point. Like what makes Coral App unique compared to what else, like what's already out there in the market. So like how do you basically differentiate yourself from the recent number of similar fitness apps?
Yeah, that's a good one. I try to understand my competition. I actually call them more because there's really nobody in competition yet in blockchain. I mean, I don't see it as, I mean, I actually see it as everyone is improving on the last thing that somebody else did. Now, we've been around for about almost 2 years now, just building in silence. But I think what makes us different is that we've actually extended beyond what everyone has put on the market so far. Not to say that someone else won't see what we've done and build on it. I hope somebody, also comes and collaborate with us to expand it. But I'll take Steppen, for example. Absolutely love it. I mean, whoever did their graphics, I want that person on my team, right? It's an amazing project, solid team, well funded, but it's more focused around, you actually doing the activities and you running and you get your NFT or you get to rent your NFT, uh, which is, awesome. But beyond that, it's, I mean, we're building more of a lifestyle, right? It's not just the running because that part is actually within the app because in the app, our first feature that will be released is the challenge feature, which everybody else has. So you have Dogecoin is doing something similar. There's Olivex. So Olivex bought up Dogecoin, right? So they incentivize people for doing all types of activities on their equipment. That's great, but what we've done is expanded that, right, and extended it. And and with the extension comes the whole idea around the marketplace that I talked about. And also, we have the metaverse side of it that I haven't talked about yet, which is our third phase. And that is allowing people to go into the metaverse to play games. You can play games with each other, you can challenge each other and actually put up a bet. And whoever wins that bet collects all of the money within the smart contract. And you can go in and actually take yoga classes. So it'll be great to have a yoga session with an instructor at the Eiffel Tower in the metaverse, right? And we all kind of sit there and we're all from different places in our little avatars. So we're expanding on what's there and extending it into the creator economy and also into the metaverse. Can you hear me?
Hi, sorry, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, sorry. I have basically, essentially what you're building is like a dusk to dawn lifestyle, whereas some of the other products in the market, they're essentially targeting on like one single section of a lifestyle, let's say, whether that's running or whether it's like fitness or like so on and so forth, right?
Exactly, right. So I see what we're doing is more of a lifestyle and not an
Lifestyle, yeah.
activity.
Exactly, exactly. All right. So the next question is gets more into the financial side. Do you have any plans to create a dashboard to track the revenues and the usage of tokens within the CRL economy?
When you say tracking, can you expand on that?
Um, well, I guess what the person means to ask is that like a dashboard to track the revenue and usage of token. I guess more transparency in how the CRL tokens, like how much revenue they're generating and how those tokens are being used within the ecosystem, like how many tokens you're burning or how many tokens are being given out as rewards and so on.
Yes, so we will publish our tokenomics.
Right.
It's not published yet, but that would be created. Well, so we have it, but anyone who's ever worked with tokenomics know that you end up, scrapping it about 300 times because you're trying to get to a sweet spot where you're not giving away too many tokens for activities and people are actually able to also burn the tokens by using it on the app and maintaining the ecosystem, then no one is dumping all of their tokens on the market, or when they get
Exactly.
their reward, it gets dumped immediately. So we're working
Okay.
through all of that and making sure that what people are earning doesn't outweigh an investor's investment in the
Fair
project,
enough.
so that
Fair enough.
that the value creation is intact.
All right. All right. The next question is like, do you also plan to get into the hardware part of things? Like, do you plan to release your, like, do you have like, I know you're still in the early stages, but do you have any plans to get into releasing your own fitness tracking device in the future? Like right now, you're working with the Google and like Apple, devices, but do you have plan to release your own at some point? Like, has that topic come up?
Yes, yes. Oh, absolutely. I think it's not even if we have the plan. We we are planning, not immediate, but probably closer to the second phase, only because, especially for the Android users, there's so
Okay.
many Android products out there. Because if you have
Right.
an Apple phone, it's the same platform, same code base for everyone. But with Android, there are about 30 products out there with 30 different ways of pulling the data off
Right.
of their API. So we have to
Right.
focus on the top two, and we'll expand to the top five. That way,
Okay.
anyone who wants to participate right now can only really focus on the main ones, like your Samsung or your Google. Now,
Right.
in the future, the only way to really safeguard to make sure everybody has access is to provide something that always works with the platform, something that the
Right.
code is already in the app itself. And
Right.
I'm always very, very, price conscious. Of course, if you have all the money in the world, of course, if it's $300, $500, you'll buy it. But I'm
Right.
interested in people who want a watch that works and it's effective for $50 or $60 or $25 if I can do it, right? So
Right.
we're looking for partners that would work with us to make sure that we get high quality products that would be able to work on the platform as a wearable, right? Because I have to carry even my own phone when we're doing tests to make sure that I'm getting all the feedback I should be getting. I don't think it should
Right.
be that way. I think the wearables are very, very important, as much as the app is. So yes, there is plans
Sure.
for that, but it's phase two.
If you can get something in the $50 to $100 range in the market, I'd buy it. Like, I mean, like that is such a great value, like especially in that price segment, because I mean, not everybody has $500 to like dish out on an Apple Watch. So, yeah.
Absolutely agree. I mean, I'm one of those people that, so my background is in engineering. I've
All
worked
right.
in design. I've been a design engineer for Ford Motor Company, for Caterpillar. I've worked for some of the best brands. I've been lucky, and I think for me, if nothing at all, you have to make sure that you're producing things that the customer would actually pay for, and will make sure that would
Wow.
help also support adoption. So if you think about it
Okay.
from that perspective, you have to make sure that if you want to open up markets, that you're
Right.
providing something that will allow people to adopt faster and also use it more. And that's giving them something they can afford to participate in your ecosystem.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Why did you choose the Zilliqa blockchain for your app?
So that's actually TBD as of now. And yes, initially that was our plan, is to actually fully launch on Zilliqa.
Okay.
We will launch on Zilliqa, but over time, of course, we've also noticed that there's more traffic in the EVM side. And as much as I'm a loyalist, I'm also an entrepreneur, and I want to make sure that the product will be a multi-chain product, and it's not just going to be
Right.
launched on one. And to give us
Okay.
access to the rest of the market, we will be pushing towards EVMs as well. So our code base for two of them are actually already ready. We'll be pushing through the audits and things of that nature, and working through some things with the platform themselves as we try to negotiate our release as well.
Okay. So bringing the focus to the consumer, right? So who is your ideal consumer? Like, what's your target audience? Like, that's like, how would you define that in, like, let's say, two sentences?
I talk a lot. How do you want me to say two sentences? Come on.
All right, all right.
But
Let's
no, I'm
say,
just
like,
kidding.
how
No,
how
no,
would
I
you
got it.
define your ideal consumer? Yeah.
Trying to be funny, but it would be anyone who actually cares about their health, wellness, and fitness. Anyone.
Perfect. See, that was just one sentence.
Still complied, although I complained.
All right. Let's see. How do you basically make investors trust the Coral app? Given now this, I'm just reading out a question, by the way. It's like right now, like especially in the market, it's very hard for investors to trust and invest in new projects, especially with so many rugs and pulls, right? So, how do you make investors trust the Coral app?
Listen, whoever asked that question, I'm with you. I have gotten rug pulled so many times, my bum hurts, you know. But you know, if you think about it, you
Okay.
can only.
Well, that graphic.
I'm just being honest, right? Because I mean, you go to sleep one day and you wake up one morning and that chart, you just don't even know what to do, you know. But
Right.
um, I think for me, it's really looking at a few things. If you look at our Twitter account, I registered our Twitter in 2020. I mean, we haven't launched anything yet, but I remain steadfast to the fact that I'm launching and we keep building in the background. We've been here, we're still here. I mean, I am going to be doxxed, and I don't even think doxing even means anything now because I've seen some doxed people slowly rug you, and they tell you something is coming, and they have five different wallets that they're draining the entire project from. Look, I've seen it all, right? But
Right.
again, that's why I always say you have to look at a project, especially if you plan to be in it long. I mean, as a long-term venture. If any
Right.
project is trying to push people in at the last minute to get this FOMO going and they're selling out. I don't think selling out in 5 minutes actually means success. No, it doesn't. It just means
True.
you were successful in raising money. Now, what you do with the money you raise is a different story. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, you look at NFT projects, and after they launch, 40% of that money usually goes to the people who actually did their marketing,
Right.
right? And the team is
Fair
left
enough.
with this 60%, and only like 20 people left in the community because everybody else left when they made their money flipping. So, and
Right.
that's why when I started, I said, I'm playing the long term game. I'm looking at this project as a company, and whoever comes
Right.
in is investing in the company. Now,
Right.
I could have launched on a Dex and said, hey, I'm just going to launch and just gather a few people and, you know, have all these influencers come in and talk about Coral app and just tell you it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Well, I'm
Right.
taking the longer road, and that's really building with strong partners, partnering with the actual protocols themselves, going down the
Right.
VC route. I want to be, you know, the Axie Infinity in the wellness and fitness space. I'm not in a
Fair
rush
enough.
to make money overnight. However, whoever comes along for this whole project would definitely
Right.
see that over time. It's not something that, like, I mean, trust is not something that you just give someone, right? It's something that you gain from people. And I
You
think,
kind of earn
and I
it.
hope,
Yeah.
yeah, and I hope that the amount of time that we've spent for these past 2 years and not even just launching any crap speaks volumes to anybody who wants to invest. And that as we
Right.
also go along, even after launch, people start to see that we're delivering on the roadmap that we're promising. And I just don't want to go into market saying, hey, I'm going to launch something. No, I actually want to go into the market with a beta product of the phase one. And then I'm
Right.
releasing phase two and three as people see that we're delivering, then they can trust more. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
I can't say, hey, I'm here, trust me. Yeah, I've heard that too, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've gotten rug pulled a lot by everybody that I've trusted. So yes, don't even trust me, right? You have to don't
Right.
look at what I'm saying, but look at what I've delivered, or you know, go and check the track record of how long the project has been around and what we're doing right now and how we're pushing. That should give you some context as to why this might be a project for you or not.
That makes sense. Like as Mark Cuban says, he's like, I meet two kinds of people. One is the people with products, and one is people who have companies, and I invest in companies long term because people with products, they don't know how to make a company. So yeah, you know what? Well answered. I really agree with all of what you just said. All right. As we briefly touched upon the metaverse aspect of it, the next question is: as the metaverse takes center stage in 2022, now I'm kind of merging two questions here. You briefly mentioned that you have a toolbox of cutting edge technologies. Now, what is the cutting edge technology, and can you also tell us a little bit about the AR VR aspects of your project? There's like a picture on your website also. So
Yeah, so just for, I guess, to kind of explain what cutting edge technology is, 2 years ago was when I actually started this, like I mentioned. So all that was written back then, and that was written for a general audience that isn't really familiar with blockchain so that they can actually get to understand what we're doing here. So if you look at the term cutting edge, it's really for the general public. For everybody
okay,
in this room, when I say blockchain, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, so it's really just saying that we have a product that will be built on the chain. Um, and in terms of the metaverse play, um, the metaverse play is our phase three, and that is allowing people to go and play games with their avatars and change their, gym outfit or their workout outfit. Get their little mats and get their little vitamins to boost them in games and things like that. So we're gamifying the entire wellness and fitness experience, right? That's
right.
what we're planning to do in the metaverse. Now, if
Okay.
you've ever watched anybody build a game, they have a team of 50 people somewhere in the
Yeah,
background coding, right?
pretty
So
much.
that's why it's phase three, right? And for us, if we're to deliver this properly, that's why it's phase three. So we'll have some teasers come up by the end of the
Right.
year, but once we are fully launched and our backers are there, then we can open up that side of it. But it's going to be gamifying the entire wellness and fitness experience, and even the mindfulness part, right? Because it's not always about people sweating and jumping up and down, but doing yoga is an experience that should also have its own play, and we're designing things around that. And beyond that, we're hoping that by the time we're done with the gaming side, that we'll have everything that we need from the health care perspective to make sure that we have the buy-in to also extend people who are looking to actually meet with a life coach to be able to meet them in the metaverse. We are talking to counselors who counsel people with, cases of depression. And the idea is just to really help people feel without having to see each other. I want to be able to speak to a wellness coach in Abu Dhabi or a wellness coach out in Australia, and I'm sitting here and having that kind of access in the metaverse where they can actually, have my avatar, I can see the avatar and we can talk and relate for my 1 hour session that I pay them for. That's where we're going, right? Is to make sure that irrespective of where you are in the world, you have access to people that could help you through whatever you're going through. Or if you're looking to, get people, a community to cheer you on because you're trying to lose weight. We have that in the app, in the chat feature, where it's a no judgment zone. You can really, put these things out there. So that's kind of what we're doing. And that's why I keep saying that what we're doing is not um, a sprint, it's an ecosystem, it's a lifestyle that we're trying to build.
Hello. Hello.
Did you hear what I said? I'm not sure if I cut out.
No, no, no. I basically heard everything. Sorry about that. I just accidentally pressed mute. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So I just have one last question. I know you have to go, so I won't keep you long. Now, I'm just reading this out loud. I know motivation has to come out from one's own self. Now, how does your app manage to keep people encouraged and keep using it again and again? I think it means basically keeping the daily active users. More often than not, people lose motivation along the way. So I guess the person means to ask that how do you, mean to keep the daily active users up?
That's a good question. And that's one of the questions that always takes us back to the drawing board. And I think even
Right,
5 years in, I will always be at the drawing board trying to answer that exact question. Question. It's a great one.
right,
It's one that every founder has to grapple with. And
right,
I mean, at this point, I can tell you where we are, but I also have to tell you that it's something that is one of those in progress type of things where you always have to evolve over time. But
right,
right now, the way that we are trying to make sure that people are engaged with
right.
their health and wellness and engaging with the app is for the first feature that we're releasing, for example. Um, it comes with what I call a master stepper NFT. So
Okay,
if you've been able to do 95% of the steps that is recommended by the National Health Organization, you
all
get
right.
an NFT in your wallet that is I'm calling it a master stepper. And you can take
Oh,
that and actually cash that in to get tokens for your reward. Now you can't sell it because it's like you selling your own work, which for me
right,
it doesn't make any sense that you would do all this thing for your own personal health and you sell it. So you can only
right.
burn it to receive tokens. But
Brilliant,
if
actually.
you don't even get to the hot stepper or the master stepper level and you
Mm,
just do what you did the first day, second day, third day, you're earning tokens for every step that you take. Every step you
right.
take, you own something. So that's part of what we're looking to do. So that, I mean, I know for sure, I check my wallet about 100 times a day. So if you know that you're earning, right, especially if you're in the
Right,
DeFi market, you always
right,
check in to see, oh, how much did I earn today and how much can I actually claim today? So
right,
once a day, you can claim those tokens that you've earned and put them in your wallet. You can, go ahead and gift those tokens if you want to actually help somebody get a subscription.
right,
The other part is the challenges. I don't control the challenges. You can set up your own challenge with three of your
right,
friends or six of your friends or a community. And you
right,
guys can say, hey, I want to challenge you to a 5K run this weekend. You set it,
right,
you set the date and the time, and everybody drops in 50 coral tokens, for example. And
right,
once it's closed, you start the race. You start the race,
right.
whoever finishes first collects that reward from the smart contract. So it's kind
Okay.
of like a way to gamify the experience where anyone, anywhere around the world can decide with their friends or family that they want to challenge each other to do things. So it's just like the Nike
Okay.
run, but incentivized. So
Right.
those are the two things that we are releasing with the phase one for sure. The phase two
Okay.
and three is still in the works.
Okay. So like it basically kind of becomes like a competition with yourself for the better, because I know I'm obsessed with my Samsung Health app that I have to see the number of steps that I've taken, and it's absolutely brilliant. And I think it'll work really, really well.
So that's really what we're doing. I have to jump on my next interview call,
Yes,
but
absolutely,
I really,
absolutely,
really
Ray.
appreciate the time.
Thank you so much for giving us time, and we would love to have you here. And hopefully, we'll get some more time in the future. And yeah, and all the best with your project. And we look forward to having you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would love to be, here again. And sorry I couldn't take any questions from everyone, but I mean, I'd love to come back to do that at some point in time as we get closer to launch.
Not a problem, Ray. We'll be posting the transcripts on our channels, and yeah, we'll be in touch. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys, that's it for the AMA, and we look forward to having the next one. Take care.